I'm talking once again, hopefully I don't get kicked out. I'm talking about how to make your women empowerment events stand out. Now I got to start from the beginning because let me make sure that y'all know that I'm going to be doing I'm going to be going live every week, at least every Saturday for the next 4 Saturdays. So I'm doing a 5 event series on how to increase your attendees at your Women Empowerment events, how to increase your students or your mentors or your mentees if you are a Women Empowerment mentor, and how to basically establish yourself online as some type of women empowerment speaker. Okay, and so I divided this into a 5-part series. So make sure if you are not already following this page, that I want you to follow this page. And also, if you're listening to this and you know of other people, because I know a lot of my followers are not hosting women empowerment events, and that's okay. But if you know someone who is, or someone who would like to, can you please share this live? Or can you please tag them? Because this is going to be important. I'm not holding back. I'm not promoting anything. I'm giving it to y'all. Okay, I'm giving y'all a 5-part series on how to establish yourself as a women empowerment speaker online, and how to host more women empowerment events, and how to get more students and mentees and all of that jazz. And also, if you stay on here, I'm going to give you a 90-day strategy for getting invited to speak. It's going to give you week by week what you should be doing if you want to get invited to speak. And yes, one of them is talking online because this is your stage. Please understand that. A lot of times y'all are waiting for some organization or something to bring you in to speak. To me, that's not how it works for me. That is not how it works for me. Okay, so I'm literally in this 90-day guide giving you the blueprint for how it worked for me, how I was getting invited to speak, how I was getting sponsorships for me to speak in different cities. How did I expand and actually start speaking nationally and get invited to speak over and over and over again? I'm going to give you the blueprint for that. As a matter of fact, if you want the blueprint for that, drop the word speak, okay? But for right now, specifically today, we are going to talk about how to make your events stand out. And the reason why I'm making this the #1 topic is because I see what you all are saying when you all are creating your women empowerment events or mentorships programs, or just, your speaking engagements. And usually you're saying something like, let me help you become the best version of yourself. I need some water. I'm thirsty. Or y'all are saying, let me help you live your best life. Let me help you live your dream life. Or y'all are saying, let me help you break generational curses. If this sounds familiar to you, or if you are one of the people that's saying this, that's using this type of tagline in order to promote your women empowerment events, classes, mentorships, speaking engagements, whatever you're doing, I want you to identify yourself right now in the comments. Say, that's me, Rev. Or that's me, Dr. Kamisha. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Let me know that that's what you're doing. I'm not telling you that that's a bad thing. I'm getting ready to tell you how to enhance that. By the way, let me explain who I am real quick, because I am streaming on multiple pages. Okay. My name is Dr. Kamisha, and I have been hosting women empowerment events since 2018. I have traveled and taught my own signature course, Self-Realization of a Goddess, over 20 times over the past 5 years. I have gotten sponsorships for this. I have gotten over 670 something students have came through my classes. Okay, whether they be virtual, online, or in person. I have taught over 600 students over the past 5 years. I have hosted 2 to 3 retreats. I don't know why I'm having a hard time remembering. Is it 2 or 3? Because I would do a retreat every year. Okay. So I'm saying all that to say, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to tell you that I know what I'm talking about. All right. Now, if you are one of the people that are saying that let me help you live your best life. Let me help you become the best version of yourself. Let me help you break generational curses. You need to be paying attention because I'm getting ready to tell you how to enhance that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing and that you shouldn't be saying those things. I was also using that to promote my women empowerment events. However, I had something else to add on to that tape that made me stand out, that set me apart from everybody else who was saying that. And the thing that made me stand out was that it was in my delivery. It wasn't that I was teaching how to become the better version of yourself, how to break generational curses and all the stuff that y'all are saying. It's the way that I taught it. I used my gift of word magic, which is linked to my gift of clairaudience. Okay, I have a gift for breaking down the esoteric meaning of words. I know that I have some new followers, so that's the only reason why I'm going into depth about this, right? So I have a way of breaking words down to teach law of attraction and manifestation and universal law and breaking generational curses and manifesting the life of your dreams. I have a way of a delivery, a special way of teaching that. I'm not telling you that you need to go around doing word magic. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that you have to find your specific mechanism of delivery, something that makes you different. What is your unique gift? This is why you have to know yourself. You know, you helping empower other women, which I'm all for that. I want you to help empower other women. I want women to wake up and realize that they don't need external validation to be who they claim that they are. Okay? I want women to heal from all the trauma that they have gone through. And I want you to do it. That is why I'm helping you do it. But you have to know yourself. You have to know your gifts. You have to first, come on, somebody. You have to first know your own unique gifts before you can attract other people to help them empower themselves, right? It's in your delivery. So when I'm saying it's in your delivery, I'm talking about if you know that your unique gift is, let's say, singing, and I'm using that because I seen somebody on here when I had that little mishap, right? Because I was on live and then it got off and then they kicked me out and now I'm back again. I seen somebody that was on my live that has that sings, that has the gift of singing. So you need to use that in your delivery. That is what's going to make you interesting. That is what's going to make you stand out when you are giving when you are giving your speech, when you are giving your sermon, when you are doing your virtual workshops and your events. Use the gift that God gave you. Do you have the talent of fashion? Do you put that? Okay, let me not curse. Let me curse anyway. Do you put that shit on? Do you know how to stand out? Do you put that shit on? Then you need to use that as part of your delivery. Do you dress in a very unique way? Then you need to use that when you are delivering your message. That is what's going to make you stand out. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Right? You're using you. You're using you to stand out. Because yes, we want to break generational curses. Yes, we want to live everybody wants that. And everybody's saying that. I want you to figure out how are you going to say that different? How's your delivery different? Are you funny? Do you have the gift of being funny? Do you have the gift of being sarcastic? Right? I'm an Aries. I have the gift of being very blunt and being very straightforward. Instead of me shrinking that down and allowing everybody to tell me that I shouldn't be like that, I use that in my delivery. Let's get to the next point because that's where I'm going with this. How else do you stand out? By saying something that has shock value. You're not saying the same things that everybody is saying. You're saying something that has shock value. Like I just said, I'm an Aries, and so I can be extremely blunt to the point where people be like, I can't believe she said that. What am I talking about? When I was teaching self-realization of a goddess and traveling and getting invited to speak at all of these different cities, one of my mantras was no PUSSY for boys. No pussy. No pussy for boys. Why am I whispering that? Because that's no longer my mantra. Internally it is, right? But that's not the energy I'm on. That's not the wave I'm on. That's not where I'm at, okay, energetically. I want you to be there though. Because I still want to push that narrative, okay? Because I know that it's right, true, and correct. Even Mother Nature backs up that narrative, right? My point here is that, let's stay on point here. My point here is that one of the ways that I stood out is that I said something that has shock value. You don't have to be like me. Maybe you're not an Aries, but can you come up with something that has shock value? Something that nobody else is saying, something that other people are scared to say. What are they scared to say that you know needs to be said? Find that and make that your mantra. That's how you're going to stand out. That is going to get you attention online. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. We are online looking to get attention. Marketing is attention. Sales and marketing is attention. It's a competition for attention. And I'm saying that as a metaphysician. Yep, we exist in the 3D realm. In the 3D realm, in sales and marketing, is about getting attention. And how do you get attention? How do you stand out? You say something that has shock value. Oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Yes, you need that. So what was number one? Number one was in your delivery. When you go to give your speeches, when you go to do your events, do you have something that makes you stand out, or are you just standing there with a microphone talking? Listen, y'all, when I did self-realization of a goddess, I would become so animated. It's part of my nature. I will become so animated. You're going to remember something I said here today. Something I said here today. Either you're going to remember it because I was very animated in the way that I said it, or because I said something that had a lot of shock value, or you're going to remember it because of the way that I broke the words down. Most people remember because of the way that I broke the words down. Somebody remember something I said. Matter of fact, if you are on this live stream right now and you ever came to a self-realization of a goddess class and there's something, my voice is burned in your head of something that I said, and it was the way that I said it, or it was the way that I broke a word down, I want you to write about it in the comments. Please. Please, that'll just make my day if you did that. Because you would be validating what I'm trying to tell you as far as you hosting a women empowerment event. Because when people walk away, they need to remember something that's going to make them go make a post about what you said and how it stuck to them. You need to be saying something that's going to touch them so deeply that their grandma going to change. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're talking about breaking generational curses. It needs to get so deep into their DNA that 2 generations forward going to change. This is why I know that my impact for self-realization of a God, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because I want you to understand how deep the impact needs to be in order for you to stand out. And you're going to have to say some shit that other people are afraid to say. That's how you stand out. Shake the room. When you walk in that mofo, you came there to shake the room, right? And to do that, you got to say something that somebody going to go home and say, and then she said this. This is what I mean when I say it went 2 generations forward. Somebody went home and told their man. Somebody went home from one of those events and told their man something that I said. And even if he got triggered by it, It stuck with him. I don't even know him. But he heard the message. He wasn't even there. Y'all get it? Okay. That's number two. Number two is shock value. Okay. Number three thing that you need to be doing to make sure that your event stands out is you need to be telling a transformative story. I say this one all the time. And it's probably going to be part of, I'm doing a 5-part series, by the way. If you are on here and you are listening and this is helping you, but you got a girlfriend, you got a cousin, you got an aunt, you got a mom, hell, you got a grandma that's like, I want to share my wisdom with the world, baby. And you know that she want to host some type of women empowerment event. I want you to share this. Don't be stingy. I want you to share this live video. Tag her. Because I'm telling you what to do in order to stand out online. A lot of y'all are saying this, all of y'all, let me not say all of y'all. A lot of y'all are saying the same exact thing. And that's okay, but it's in your delivery that's going to make it different. You know why it's okay for y'all to be saying the same thing? Because universal law is universal law across the board, right? I'm going to always talk about as within, so without, as above, so below. You create based on how you think. You create based on how you feel. Your words are what create your reality. Like everybody and their grandma is going to be saying that once they come to the understanding of how we create our reality, right? It doesn't matter that I'm saying the same thing that 10 zillion other people are saying. It's in my delivery. It's in my tone. It's in my animation. It's in the story that I tell that's associated with that. So let's get back to that. Number three is in your transformative story. So I'm talking about when you are promoting your women empowerment event, you just better have a story to go with it. Because what am I coming to your event for? What transformation did you do in your life that's going to make me want to come to your event? What story are you telling? Can I relate to your story? Is there something in your story that I can relate to that's going to make me say, you know what, I want to go to that. I want to go to that. Oh, she having a class on how to transform from this to the other. I want to sign up for that. What is your story? Right? When I was doing Self-Realization of a Goddess, my story was always about how I had childhood abandonment issues. How my mom and my dad were on drugs and they left me at my grandmother's house, and how that snowballed into all the other shenanigans, right? That snowballed into me constantly attracting F-boys because I had low self-esteem, because I didn't value myself. And it snowballed into me being in a 2-year abusive relationship, right? It snowballed into all these issues. And that is where the journey of self-realization of a goddess came from. But it started at my mom and my dad left me, right? And even within self-realization of a goddess, I taught how I forgave my mom and dad. That was part of the transformation. Class number 7, the power of forgiveness. What I'm getting at here is when you are promoting your women empowerment event, you need to be telling your transformative story, your story of transformation. If you are just getting up there saying, hey, y'all, I'm having an event coming up and we're going to be talking about how to become the best version of yourself, how to break generational curses, and how to live your best life. No. So what? So what you're going to be talking about there? How is that helping me specifically? Are you going to talk about something that I specifically went through? Well, I don't know, because you didn't tell me your transformative story. See, when you start telling your story of transformation, then other people will be like, oh, that's what she did. You know what? I want to hear more about that. So even with me promoting my mentorship program, Painful to Profitable, where I'm giving you all the step-by-step details on how to create your own mentorship program, right? The transformative story that I'm telling is that I used to work at the post office for 22 years. I went from working at the post office for 22 years. I was a letter carrier, and then I became a sales rep for the post office, and I got tired of doing that. And I used to sit in my car crying. I tell this story all the time. Every single time I go live, every single time I do a virtual event, every single time I do a self-realization of a goddess, I would tell the same story about how I was sitting in the car crying. And people remember that story. How do I know that? Because when they sign up for my mentorship program, they tell me. Because I asked. They don't specifically say, oh, I signed up because of that one story. But they will mention the story. So now that's the transformation. That's the story of transformation. How I went from sitting in a car crying at the post office to being a national speaker for self-realization of a goddess and hosting over 20 events and having over 600 students and hosting multiple retreats. That's the transformation story. How did I go from that to that? Get your story together. How did you go from X to Y to Z, or even X to Z, whatever it is, ecstasy? Okay, I'm back. Okay, shall we go over this one more time? I'm gonna name all three real quick, and then, no, let me say this first. Before I name all three, again, I want to know who wants to get invited to speak outside of their hometown in the next 90 days, because it can happen. You can do it. Now, here's the criteria around you being able to do it. You need to know your own expertise. You need to know your own transformative story, because that is the backbone of you being invited to speak in the next 90 days. You also can't be camera shy. You can't be afraid to go live. If you are afraid to go live, if you are afraid to make a reel, I'm not talking to you. I'm sorry, I love you. But if you want to get invited to speak in the next 90 days, it ain't going to happen unless you're willing to go live and unless you're willing to make reels. How are you going to empower other women to stand up in their authority of their self? But you're afraid to make a reel, but you're afraid to go live. How? How? I would love to know. If you can, I mean, listen, I ain't saying that all things are possible with God, okay? I ain't saying that it ain't possible, but I would love to know how can you empower other women and you're afraid? You got to get over your own fear of being judged when you go live, of being criticized, of people disagreeing with you in the comments. You got to get over that. How are you empowering other women? So here's what I want you to do. If you are past that part, because I'm not coaching you on that. Well, if you come into my Patreon group, I do have a class in there on how to get over your fear of speaking. Okay, and I am doing monthly coaching in there. That's $12 a month, by the way. I didn't come on here to talk about that, though. I came on here to give you these 3 things that's going to help you stand out, and to also offer you the opportunity for you to get invited to speak in the next 90 days. I'm going to give you week by week. What should you be doing every week? You will have no excuses, because I promise you, it's not that hard. It's a matter of you actually doing it. So if you want the 90-day strategy, drop the word speak in the comments, and I'm going to DM it to you. Drop the word speak in the comments, and I'm going to DM it to you. If you are on YouTube listening to this, drop the word speak in the comments, and I'll send you the link for you to download it. Okay? Let's go over these real quick. 3. The 3 things that you need to be doing to make sure that you are standing out as a women empowerment speaker, host, event host, or mentor. The number 1 thing is your uniqueness in your delivery. Get that together. Whatever your unique thing is about yourself, use that put that at the forefront. Okay, whatever your unique gift is, intertwine that into your delivery. That's number one. Number two is create a mantra that has shock value around your event. Say something that's going to make people say, oh, I can't believe she said that around your event. And number three is tell your transformative story. When you are promoting your event, tell your transformative story. The people that are coming to your event, the people that are coming into your mentorship, the people that you want to come into your classes or to be under your quote unquote leadership. Okay, I'm saying quote unquote because that's another subject about what leadership is. Leadership is you did it first. You do it first. Okay? Those are the three things. You need to be able to show where did you transform at. Drop the word speak if you want the 90-day strategy. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next Saturday. I'm saying that out loud so that I commit to it. I will see y'all next Saturday. And what's next Saturday's thing going to be on? What's next Saturday? Just hold on. Be patient because I want to tell y'all what is next Saturday's event going to be on. Because I got it written down. Hold before you get off. How to build authority on social media as a women empowerment coach or mentor. How to build authority. That's what next week's virtual event, well, virtual live, whatever you want to call it, is going to be on. Okay, I'm getting off. See y'all later. Bye-bye.